This is Deathloop.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, I'll turn this off now because I need to concentrate.
So, Jay,
Yes.
is it sunny where you are, by the way?
Oh, it's kind of weird. It's like half and half. Like one half of the sky is like blue sky, white clouds, really, really nice. And then the other half is like completely black, miserable.
Weird.
But there's no like sun necessarily. I can't see the sun. All I can see is the white clouds illuminated by the sun. So technically yes, technically no.
We're pretty sunny here.
Yeah, I can see that.
But it's got that autumn feel to it. You know, when like it's sunny, but it's still a little bit chilly. You know,
I understand.
I do quite like that.
I really enjoy that feeling.
Yeah, it's weird when when you hit like the real Christmas period, or even January, and it's really sunny but freezing. That's
So I'm already starting to feel a little bit Christmassy. If I'm if I'm being honest.
It's coming around quick, I've got to say. It's coming around quick.
Yeah. I mean, people were already talking about Halloween, aren't they? Well, they were talking about it. Halloween seems to begin at like the beginning of September now.
That's what I hear from Americans.
Yeah, whenever I look online, it's just like, oh, get ready for Halloween now, and it's like September 1st. It's like, okay. Fair enough.
What's your thoughts? Okay, well, what's your thoughts on Halloween, Jay? Do you?
I like the spooky.
Do you think
the
that
spoopiness.
we should? Do you think we should celebrate it? Do you think we should celebrate it more? Do you like it a lot? Do you watch horror movies and stuff?
I mean, in an ideal world, we'd be able to celebrate it amazingly, but we're not in an ideal world, so I don't know. I think it depends on your lifestyle, right? If you're a very sociable person, you can do what you want.
True.
I think it'd be cool to make more of a thing out of it, like watch some horror movies and not necessarily dress up, but I don't like the dressing up aspect.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Fair play. All right. Well, let's get us started then, J-Balls. Which, by the way, we've got a big show today. I'm not gonna lie to you, Jay. I did remove a few of your news stories because there was a lot on there, bro.
A lot of them were just sort of like one and like little anecdote of like, by the way, this is the thing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's absolutely fine. If you do want to mention anything that I've taken out, whatever, feel free.
I don't know. I probably better remember
but
anyway.
Let's get started. So, which criminal organization helped found Nowhere and is led by the Collector? The Criminal Division, the Ravagers, the Watchdogs, the Tivan Group, or Tivan Group? Tivan Group? Tivan Group? Tivan Group?
Well, I know what you're referencing. You're referencing Guardians of the Galaxy. The Ravagers are the only group that I actually recognise out of all of those, but I don't think the Ravagers have anything to do with the Collector necessarily. Can't really remember. I mean, I'll have to go with the Ravagers because that's the only one I actually remember.
It's not, I'm afraid, Jay. It's the Tivan Group.
Tivan. Okay, fair enough.
Fairly difficult question, I'd say.
Yeah, that one's extremely niche. Very niche.
So we've got the full stack today, Jay. We might have Pixel Perfect later on, but I have got a Guess Who's review as well, because I know we haven't done that in some time. And we've got a lot to discuss. So before we do, just a quick shout out to a couple of things, Jay. First of all, Final Fantasy VII, is it Crisis Core Reunion or Reunion Crisis Core? I'm not quite sure.
We'll say Crisis Core Reunion.
Crisis Core Reunion. We got a release date for that coming out December 13th, was it? Cool. So just giving that a quick shout out. Are you planning to guess it?
Yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to be like. I don't know. I'm not really in the Final Fantasy mood right now. I'm more looking forward towards Gotham Knights and Pokemon. So as soon as I get into the Final Fantasy mood, I might come back to it. I don't think I'd want to pay full price for it. So
fair.
I'll come back to that.
I guess also though, Gotham Knights, I am going to class as a bit of an RPG. You've got three arguably massive RPGs you've got to play there, so you might not be in an RPG mood either, right?
Also, Dead Island 2 and Hogwarts Legacy come out within the same week in February as well.
Oh, right, okay.
So, yeah.
Well, I mean, I know which one I'm playing, but...
I'm playing them both.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, fair enough.
I can't wait.
The other thing I wanted to shout out, Jay, quickly is I just found out on Spotify that for the 15th anniversary for Assassin's Creed, I don't know whether I missed this, but they have got a podcast series out on Spotify.
Yeah.
So I'm going to check that out. And then also they have done a few playlists on there too. So I know we haven't got loads in terms of Assassin's Creed anniversary stuff. Like we haven't got any remasters or anything like that. But just a quick shout out on that. I don't know if you're interested. But...
Yeah, no, I did see that. I am interested. Is that just on Spotify exclusive? Is that?
No, I don't think so. It's just where I found it.
Will it be on?
I'm sure it'll be most Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, I might check that really quick just to see.
Yeah, do it. Jay, in terms of timing and things, would you like to discuss what game you've been playing first? Would you like me to go first?
Yeah, I want to just ask you a quick question. Hogwarts
Please.
Legacy, have you pre-ordered it yet?
No, sir.
Okay. What console do you plan on playing it on?
Good question, Jay. As you know, my leniency is going towards PlayStation at the moment for my gaming, but go on.
Well, no, I was curious because there's definitely a right answer and a wrong answer, depending on your outlook on how you want to play the game.
Oh, okay. So I assume the right answer is PlayStation for the pre-order bonus.
Correct.
Also, Jay, if I'm not mistaken, I'm looking at some of these Tech Foundry videos, yeah, and some of the games are playing better on PlayStation, but that doesn't make any sense to me because I thought the specs were better on Xbox. So, do you have any insight here?
Which games do you mean?
Don't know off the top of my head, truth be told.
So you just mean in general?
Yeah, like load times, things like that. Like
I'd say they're so close. It's honestly doesn't really matter.
I like it.
I'd say on some games you'll find that Xbox tends to be marginally better, and on other games PlayStation are marginally better. Like there's no too big of a difference to make you go, oh, I'll definitely get it on that one.
Sure.
I think Cyberpunk runs slightly better on PlayStation 5 now, but only slightly.
What is it because of the patches and things, or has it always run better on PlayStation?
I think it's always run better on PlayStation. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just the way that the Xbox works doesn't quite like the way that Cyberpunk is built. It just works slightly better with the PlayStation hardware.
Fine.
I think the PlayStation hardware is a little bit closer to a PC in terms of its actual parts that it uses, whereas Microsoft is sort of built from the ground up. They do use some PC parts, but they've got some Microsoft specific stuff in there. So.
Thoughts on how your Xbox and PlayStation looks? Because obviously time's passed since we got them.
They look the same. They literally haven't moved since I put them where they are.
But thoughts on how I guess they've aged in terms of their appearance?
I mean,
so
the
for
Xbox
instance,
might
the PlayStation 5 to me doesn't maybe look as bad as when it came out.
Oh, you mean in terms of like whether or not they've grown on me aesthetically?
Yes, that is.
Yes. Xbox has always looked good. PlayStation is just it's kind of weird. Hang on, let me let me do this.
For those listening, Jay's taking a photo, and I think he's going to send it to me so I can see.
It's literally just a black rectangle and a white rectangle. It's not very much to look at.
Oh, I see, because the PlayStation side on, so it's literally
like that's literally all I see is just a black and a white rectangle. I don't. It's all the same. Like I still think the Xbox looks infinitely better, and there's actually a lot of talk at the minute about a white Xbox.
Saw that
in a Samsung
or something, right?
I think it was in a Samsung advert.
Was it LG?
LG, there you go. Well done. It was LG. And a lot of people are speculating whether it might have just been like a skin that they put on it for the. Because there's like the whole advert is like everything's white essentially, just like a white room, so everything's sort of been painted white, and then people are like, "Oh my god, there's a white Xbox. Is that going to be released soon?" People are like speculating, but I was like, why would you want a fucking white Xbox? That would look awful. I guess the only thing that would be better about a white Xbox Series X would be the amount of heat it would hold on to would be less. But that'd be it. But I mean, it doesn't even really get that hot. So.
True.
Actually, that reminds me. I need to clean the top of mine out. It's probably full of dust.
Yeah. What, you're gonna literally take it apart? You're just gonna give it
I'll
like
just
a blow?
blow it.
Yeah. I need to do the same.
I mean, that's what's good about the fan actually. It's because it blows air up. It just gets rid of all the dust whenever you turn it on anyway. So, but I will need to give it a bit of a blowout.
I hear you, bro. I've just thought actually I could potentially put my Xbox and PlayStation on one shelf if I angle it right, and then just remove the shelf so the Xbox can stand up. I'll look at that later.
So your
I'll have a
Xbox is
look
on the
into
side.
that.
It's on its feet.
Yeah.
On the little rubber bits. Yeah, the rubber bits are facing towards me. So I've actually got my Xbox on its side.
Oh.
Because of where all my leads are, I kind of have to have it on its side.
Also, it looked like they were about to have a duel.
Yeah, honestly, like, but the thing is, the PlayStation has the high ground, Anakin, you know?
Very good.
And it's funny because the white one is like the good one, right? I guess on top, and the black, like Anakin, Darth Vader's are down below. So yeah, I've literally got a Star Wars battle, Episode 3 happening right in front of me.
Are you gonna watch Andor?
I'll watch it. Actually, you asked me that last night. You asked me, is there anything you want to watch? I was like, I'd forgot, but yes, Andor is definitely something I want to.
Oh, okay.
Because it feels to me that Andor is doing much like 3 episodes. It's doing much like what Rogue One did, and it's being a bit more serious.
Nice.
And I liked Rogue One, so I'll definitely be watching that. Yeah.
Cool. All right, dude. Do you mind then? Let's start with you, Jay, and let's probably start with Cyberpunk, if that's cool, and then we can move on to your main game.
This ties in with one of the news things I've got, so I'll be able to cut that off the list.
Yeah, sure.
You want me to start on that?
Yeah, crack on.
Okay, so
don't
Cyberpunk.
Phil, just sorry. Guys, in terms of technical issues, because I think it's because Jay's laptop's getting slightly older and stuff. Sometimes we're having the CPUs getting a bit high when we switch backgrounds and stuff, so we might not be switching backgrounds as much as we were before. We'll just see how we get on. And Jay,
I'm actually curious. I'm just gonna switch and see if it makes any difference.
So that'll be your topic 1 background.
Yeah, that made a difference. Yeah,
big difference.
Yeah.
Fair.
Pretty big difference.
Well, I hope you guys like the main background. So
cool. Yeah. So Cyberpunk. How much have you heard about all the new Cyberpunk news?
Just that it's got a lot of momentum, and since the Netflix show came out, there's like 1 million players.
Yeah. So do you remember when Witcher the series came out and everyone started to play Witcher 3 again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the same thing has happened with Cyberpunk. Every day since the anime has come out, they've had 1 million players across all platforms every day. Whereas before they were having maybe tens of thousands every day.
That's still a lot of players. But the 10,000, I mean, but 1 million is a lot of people.
Well, you got to think, right? 10,000 on every platform is probably roughly 60,000 total a day. Maybe not even that. Because you've got Xbox, PlayStation, PC. So maybe even maybe 30 or 40,000. So yeah, they've grown quite a bit. And it looks like the hype has come back. People are finally starting to realise how good of a game Cyberpunk actually is. And I think with this latest update, we might actually be at the point where, had the game came out in the current state it's in, we probably wouldn't have had much of an issue, to be honest. I think we're finally at that state where it's kind of like, it's ready. I feel like it's actually been ready for a long time. It's just people haven't really, taken the time to try it, and I think it's just taken this long for people to get over the fact that it had such a bad opening. But when we've said it a million times before, the only reason it had a bad opening is because of the previous consoles. Had it just been released on next gen, there would have been no issue.
Well, there would have been less issues for sure, right?
A lot. There probably would have been 80% less of an issue. Yes, because the majority of the issues are people playing it on previous consoles, and that's just they don't. They barely play on Series S. For God's sake, so, and that's the halfway point. So
yeah, totally
not great, but yes, people are very excited again.
Did you play? Okay, I got a couple of questions, Jay. Firstly, can I watch Edge Runners, or would you prefer me finish the game first?
Oh yeah, you can definitely watch it, 100%.
Is it would you think? Do you think it's better to watch it after you finish the game?
It's funny, there's a lot of references to a lot of things where if you've played the game, you'll be like, oh, I've seen that place. I know the name of this thing. A lot of it just makes sense. But I mean, it's up to you. You can go in not as well adversed and still enjoy it. But I'm still surprised you haven't even finished it, to be honest, because it is phenomenal.
I will. I will. I promise you. I will definitely get to that.
I think it is tough. Like technically you can like it's a lot like how Fallout was back in the day, where you can finish the main campaign fairly quickly, like under 30 hours. But if you want to get the full experience, you're going to spend at least 70 minimum, I'd say. I mean, you've already put so much into AC. Like, remember how far you were 70 hours into AC Valhalla? You weren't even. You were barely. You were probably like 2/3 of the way through.
Yeah, if that.
If that,
If
maybe
that.
like 2/5 or something. You know, maybe halfway.
So it is a smaller. I don't mean this in an insult way, but it's a more substantial and like more. It's got more depth than Valhalla.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, it just depends. I don't know.
What I mean is the 70 hours
There's
in
lots to do.
Cyberpunk is probably as good, if not better, than this. 100 hours in Valhalla.
Yes, there's definitely like it's condensed quality. You know, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's just amazing. Like I'm just so surprised. I am glad that it's starting to get a bit more of a global and mainstream loving of the game. Like I'm starting to see people. There's literally my whole Twitter the entire week has just been people being like, "Oh, should I give this Cyberpunk a go?" Like the anime was really good. Maybe I should actually play this. And it's just like, Jesus Christ! Like the fact I think the anime is still at 100%.
Rotten Tomatoes.
Rotten Tomatoes reviewer score, and then 97% audience
Critic?
score.
Oh, okay.
Let me check. Yeah, so 100%. Yeah, 100%, and then 97. Hang on. Here we are.
Very good.
I mean, that's just like. I think it's also made it into the top 20 animes of all time on my anime list, which is
that
like
seems a bit excessive.
No, but it's so, dude, you haven't seen it.
It's true.
It's for not like it's surprisingly good. It is like it's people are like falling in love with the characters as well. There is only one season.
Are they doing two?
We don't know if they're going to do another one. They haven't said anything yet. But I think this has had a similar sort of level of popularity as what Squid Game did, sort of in its first month or so, and now they're making a Squid Game series 2. So maybe we'll get another one. We don't know.
Problem with that though is that anime takes ages to make, right? So it'll take
did.
like years.
I think they started working on it
2019.
Yeah, maybe even 2018.
Oh, crikey!
So it does take a long time.
Fair play. Well, that's good then. So in terms of updates, Jay, I know that they had the Edgerunners update tied in with the anime. Are we getting like what's the plan here? So we've got the major DLC coming out at some point. Is there anything after that? Is there anything in between? Like, do you think there's an end date for Cyberpunk launch?
CD Projekt have said they're going to add a bunch of new stuff between now and the DLC, and then also after the DLC. And then they also said that they plan on doing more content after the DLC. So I think they also said they're going to try and do other things. Like they might even make a different Cyberpunk game in the future, like a Cyberpunk 2084.
Sure.
You know, something like that. Like they're definitely not giving it. They're basically their main thing that they said was we are going to continue to do Cyberpunk content after 2077, basically. So. It might be a movie, it might be a TV show, it might be a manga, it might be anything. I don't know. Hard to say, but they know how popular the franchise is. You know, even given its bad reputation in quotes. So,
sure.
Yeah, it's a good time, man. I'm glad it's having the popularity that it's having right now, because it definitely deserves it. It's like the stories, there's so many different stories to follow in the game, but they're all like so good. A lot of people are comparing this to like the New Vegas equivalent of what New Vegas is to Fallout. Cyberpunk is to like other games that are similar to it, you know?
Sure.
Like so New Vegas is sort of like the one of the most beloved in the Fallout series to like a smaller group of people, but it's still like if New Vegas is still my favorite Fallout game. So.
Sure. No, yeah, fair enough. I mean, look, the few hours I played Cyberpunk, it definitely, it was very, very impressive, and it's definitely a game where you play it and you think, I'm gonna need to play this 3 or 4 times just to get all of like what's going on, because there's so much going on and
I mean, you
so
haven't
many
even cracked.
systems.
You haven't made a dent. Trust me.
I haven't.
Not
I haven't.
even. You haven't even like stepped on the planet yet. You're still
It's just
orbiting.
mental. So yeah, I will play it. So that's really cool. Jay, let's move on to your main game because we've got a lot to discuss about and a lot of questions and stuff.
Okay. Oh, sure. Yeah. Deathloop.
So what you been playing? What have you been playing?
Deathloop. I've been playing it since the 20. When did it come out? 20th. So like Tuesday.
What, sorry?
Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
20th. Yeah, it's because the speculation around the game when it was coming out was the whole like woke side of things about there being like black leads and stuff, and everyone thought it was going to sort of like have all this pushing things on you about how men are misogynists and white people are the worst.
I think that there was a general divide with a lot of gaming media outlets giving it, like pretty much all of them giving it 10 out of 10 or 5
people
out
were
of
just
5.
surprised that it was that it could have been that good of a game, basically.
And then YouTubers, reviewers, or YouTube reviewers, they were not giving it that, not even close. So there was, and let's be honest, Jay, gaming media has had a lot of, their opinions have been very different to a lot of gamers for quite some time now. Even look at The Witcher 3, for instance. The Witcher 3 reviewed very, very well. Didn't review as well as Deathloop, I imagine. Didn't get 10 out of 10 from IGN. I don't think it got 10 out of 10 from GameSpot. I could be wrong about that. I mean, who plays The Witcher 3 and doesn't give it the best score you possibly can? But that's neither here nor there. It's just demonstrating.
Yeah, Witcher isn't anything less than a 9.
Dude, it's not anything less than a 10. Come on.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty good, but yeah, I my sort of score I'd give Deathloop at the minute is sort of nothing less than an 8, but nothing more than a 9, I'd say.
Well, you're liking it a lot, and I know Elle's playing it and liking it a lot.
It's one of those snowball games where the longer you play it, the more you love it, which is opposite
so who knows,
for a lot
by
of
the
games.
Time, sure, but by the time you finish it, maybe you do think it's 10 out of 10.
I mean, yeah, I don't know what the ending is yet. And apparently they've added a bunch of new stuff for this update, so I don't know, man. I've heard the
original ending felt a bit rushed, from what I understand. But
that's probably why they've changed the ending. What they've said is they've extended the ending, so they've probably made it so that the rushed bit doesn't feel rushed anymore.
Sure.
I think that's probably what they've done. But it's the thing. I have my list of like 10 out of 10 games in my head. And I'm just comparing them to this, and it's not far off. Like I definitely put Deathloop probably in my top 25 games.
Wow, okay.
It might be in between 20 and 25. But it's in my top. It's my top 30. They will say then,
Might be between 24 and 25, but yeah, no, that's fine. So, give us your overview, Jay. Like, what do you think about the gameplay, the acting, the cutscenes? I don't know, everything. Just give. Oh, sorry, that's either a postman or a neighbour. Hold on.
Yeah.
Postman. Oh no, it's the neighbour.
Okay.
They're so nice.
That's really good. Worst thing ever is that horrible neighbour.
But
he's what?
Yeah, he had like serious surgery, but I think he's getting better now. I think it might be something that India asked him for, but I really don't know. I've got no idea what it is. It sounds like bubble wrap. I don't know how long this is going to go on for.
Okay.
Oh, okay, they're wrapping it up. Okay. Sorry, Jay, please carry on.
Hog. Yeah, well, I said to you last night, we spoke about this very briefly last night, but the humor in the game is very similar to like Borderlands, but not like, how Borderlands can be a bit close to the line in terms of how like annoyingly silly. This is like just the right amount of silly and just like banterish type humor, because like a lot of the dialogue between two people is the main character and Juliana, which is like the person who's trying to kill you all the time. Colt and Juliana, and them two chat on the radio, and it's just like it's a bit like Firewatch actually in terms of like just the amount of chemistry these two have and like the interaction and everything is really really up there. That one's definitely like
it's
a
not
really
like slapstick.
high point.
It's like smartly written.
It's like it's like smug and smart and just like really like quippy and witty and sarcastic and
sure,
like you know that kind of humor that you actually laugh at.
yeah.
Like it's kind of like, oh my god, that was brilliant. Like I can't believe they said that kind of thing. So that's really good because that's making me enjoy the characters, you know, like making me not want to hate them or anything. The gameplay itself, I'm now finally, because I've killed enough of the bosses to get enough of the, like, it's a little bit like Mega Man. It's got the Mega Man effect where when you kill a boss, you get their power essentially. And then as long as you can, as you can unlock that, because you in the game you sort of collect a type of currency, and with that currency you can have it so whatever ability or weapon you get from each run you do, you can then buy that ability so it doesn't disappear once the loop starts again. So I've gotten to the point now where I've basically unlocked, I think, 5 out of the 8 abilities, and the 2 that I like is turning invisible and then being able to teleport. So those 2 are like the 2 I'm using at the minute. So once you have those, it's like very helpful to be able to like move. Like the movement and the agility part is a lot more needed because you do stealth quite a lot in this game. I mean, you can run and gun. I sort of do a good mixture of both, but stealth is definitely necessary in some instances. So I think that's probably part of the reason why I think you'd like it, is because there's like a really good balance between stealth and not.
So do you keep the ability once you get it, even on the next few?
Yeah. So let's say you got the ability of a boss, and then you didn't infuse that ability, you would then lose and have to get it again. But if you had infused it, you could keep it.
Okay. So how do you infuse?
Just if you have to have enough of, you have to have enough of the currency that you collect in the game.
Yeah.
And then once you've infused it, that's it. It's permanently unlocked.
So can you do that for every single power? You got
you can do it for every power. You can do it for every power upgrade, every every gun trinkets, which are like the ability upgrade things you can get for them, and then character trinkets as well. So there's quite a lot to collect, and there's a rarity sort of. It's kind of like a loot game as well, because there's a lot of loot, and you got like common, uncommon, rare, epic, and then legendary. So. And you can like find secret stuff, so that's really good. So yeah, gameplay wise, it is definitely up there. I'd give it like a 9 out of 10 probably for that.
So
story,
I'd
give it like a 9 out of 10.
An FPS roguelite, right?
It is, yeah, FPS roguelite looter. It's a really really good mixture of a bunch of stuff. Story is amazing because like it is just like you have no memory. You wake up on an island. You're like, who the hell am I? This woman's chatting to you over this radio, like taking the piss out of you, and then kills you a bunch of times before you can even get anywhere. And then you wake up again, like, how the hell am I still alive? You figure out you're in some sort of weird loop. And then you have to kind of like figure out by finding clues around the island, like who you are and why you're there and how to get off the island, that kind of thing.
So in terms of story, let me have a think about this. So it's quite enticing then, because you do want to find out what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, I even said to you last night how I imagine this could easily have been a TV show, like almost like a Lost style TV show. Where every half an hour or hour you sort of find out something new that feels like a cliffhanger. It's kind of like, oh my god, I want to know what happened next, like on the next episode type of thing, you know.
Sure.
So
when I was speaking to him last night, El said that the more stuff you find in the world, the more you're like, oh, I really want to find out more, kind of thing.
There is an awful amount of lore in this, like a lot of backstory, a lot of history. Like it really is amazing how detailed everything is. And one other thing I really like is because you have to replay these maps over and over again to like do certain things, you end up learning like the map and where everything is. So like that can then make it easier for you to then be able to complete the game later on. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now. I'm sort of like going to each of the maps, doing the main story bits I need to. But while I'm doing that, I'm also learning where everything is. So if I lose anything, I can just go right back to it, kind of thing. It's kind of nice just knowing what do you call it? The area, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
Brilliant.
Like a bit like I know. I'm reluctant to say it because we bring it up all the time. Well, we don't, but other people bring it up all the time. But it is a Souls-like effect of I'm gonna die. Well, actually, no, it's not. It's a roguelite effect, isn't it? Of I'm gonna keep dying and I'll keep exploring the same area. So eventually, I'm just gonna get to know the area.
Yeah,
and
you
then
just
I'll
sort
be
of
like,
know it.
oh, I'm sick. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's like you sort of know like how to get around certain things, so you can like skip parts that you need to, or it kind of like actually speeds up the game at that point as well. Like if I was still playing the game now, like I was at the beginning, it would take me much longer to complete it, I think. So
what's crazy about that design is that I imagine you could probably make your way through all of Dark Souls 1 and you probably haven't played it in fucking 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, much like Deathloop and Souls games, they're all kind of the same idea, where it's just one giant map split up into different areas, basically. Yeah, whereas Deathloop isn't that. In this instance, where you have to pick and choose what area of the map you can go to at any time. So you can only go to one area at one time. You can't like go from one area to the next unless you come back to the main sort of area. There's like a hub, and you have to then go back out from the hub to be able to go to the other area.
So how does this compare to the likes of Dishonored and that?
Yeah, I mean, I saw someone online sort of make a comparison where this is almost like a watered down Dishonored.
Okay.
Which is somewhat true. I think it's watered down. Well, I don't know. To me, it kind of feels like either on par or slightly better, because there's sort of more to do. There's like more weapons, and the amount of abilities you have is sort of, you can add on to them. Whereas in Dishonored, it was just sort of like a one and done type thing. So I'd say it was actually better. It's definitely like an improvement. Like if you took all the Arcane games you've ever played and just improved them, that's kind of what this game is, essentially. Like I just think there's more to it,
And I hope you know, Jay, that I'm sure there will be some people who give us flack for you liking it as much as you do, following our rinsing of the reviews.
I mean,
but that's okay.
I think it's fairly justified, because I really don't think like it doesn't upset me that people have put it as a 10 out of 10. It doesn't make me kind of like wince or cringe necessarily. Because it's funny, like I look at Deathloop a little bit like how I look at Last of Us, in that for me it's not a 10 out of 10. I'd probably give it an 8 or a 9, just because I know how the level of quality the game is. It's just not my cup of tea. But for other people, it would easily be a 10 out of 10. And I think Deathloop is in that vein. I think it cannot go lower than an 8, but it can be a 10, and I wouldn't be. It wouldn't make me upset. It would, it wouldn't annoy me. I think since last year we've sort of taken a step back at how we look at stuff now when it comes to games, and I think we can definitely both agree that. I mean, there's a reason why this is called the game opinion, is because opinion really matters when it comes to how you feel about a game being either the best thing ever or maybe slightly under that thing. Like a 10 out of 10 game for me, like Vampire. Is definitely not a 10 out of 10 for most gamers. For me, it's 10 out of 10 because it is exactly my cup of tea.
Yeah, totally.
It's the right brand, it's the right brew, it's the right amount of sugar, like it's everything,
Totally.
But for a lot of other people, they would hate it. So, I'm not mad that it's been given a 10 out of 10. I respect it, if anything.
I definitely can see that Deathloop is a game which is going to get a lot more players following its debut on PlayStation Plus.
Oh, it's already in the top 10 most played games on Game Pass in the last week.
And Game Pass,
and it's only been up 4 days.
But like, also, it is one of those games where a lot of gamers are not going to pay full price for that, but they are definitely going to try it. And
I think that's what amazes me about Game Pass at the minute, is just how it makes everything so accessible. Like, I would have never have paid money to play this game, but I'm so glad that I've got Game Pass now.
Yeah.
Because I would have been mad at myself if I played this game 10 years down the line and been like, why did I not play this before? So.
Yeah, 100%. And we were just saying last night, Jay, Game Pass, it despite it not perhaps having the exclusive hitters and massive hitters, even recently, it's added AC Origins, AC Odyssey, and Ni no Kuni Wrath of the White Witch.
Yeah, the remastered one.
Remastered.
Yeah.
Insane. I didn't even know that was coming out. And now Deathloop as well. So They do
I think
keep hitting on that.
we will definitely see a lot more surprises. Like since I follow the sort of the social media for the Game Pass and Xbox stuff, and they're like really like on the nose with a lot of stuff. Like they're sort of very meta and like sort of breaking the fourth wall of like, oh, check out these Game Pass releases, but they sort of do it in a really fun way because they're like surprise. Just like, oh, I love it. I love how like bantery it is and humorous. It's really it makes the whole experience a lot more fun and relatable, I guess.
Yeah, and you really have no idea what could possibly come to Game Pass.
Yeah, and that's what's
over
like
the
so
last
good
year,
about it. Yeah,
like Guardians of the Galaxy, like
mental.
just anything could come to Game Pass. So it's
I
pretty
think
crazy.
someone worked out. I think there was $600 worth of game releases on Game Pass in the last month.
Gee, like new editions.
New editions.
That's great. That's a great point, Jay. Because I'd love to know.
That's so much money.
For that. Yeah.
Like I pay $11.99 a month for Game Pass, I think, or $10.99, whatever it is, and I'm saving myself 500 quid.
If you play all the games, obviously.
Basically, yeah. It's
100%.
like, oh, it's so good. It's so good.
So, in terms of Deathloop, then, mate. So, where are we looking in terms of? I know you said last night you're going to play it all weekend, sort of thing, which is great.
Yeah, I definitely plan. I'm going to attempt to get platinum on it. Definitely.
Is it achievable? Have you looked into it? Okay.
Definitely achievable. Cool. I think once I finish the game, the main story, it'll literally be like a 4-hour thing where I'll just blast through the rest of the achievement.
That's pretty exciting, man. That's pretty exciting. That's cool. So that's your main focus then, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
I think my main focus is to have it completely done before Overwatch 2.
When does that come out?
October 4th.
Oh, it's pretty soon then.
Yes,
okay.
like in a week. A week and a couple of days.
What's the hype looking like for that at the moment?
I know they're shutting down the servers October 2nd.
Okay.
So for 2 days, Overwatch will not be live at all. So they're going to be doing a lot of maintenance during that time, uploading everything, make sure it all works. There's a battle pass system, which people are sort of very 50-50 on, and the only way you can get new characters is to actually do the battle pass system.
Okay.
Which is a bit meh, but I'm hoping to. I kind of plan to play Overwatch enough to get to the end of the battle pass. That's kind of my goal, I think, for October. Between October 4th and the 21st, when Gotham Knights comes out, that's my goal. So I have a goal between now and October 4th, and then October 4th until Gotham Knights. So that's going to hopefully get me through the next month of having to wait.
I've got to say, Jay, I think your time between Gotham Knights and Pokemon is going to be fine because I imagine.
Oh yeah,
Gotham
there'll be
Knights
a gap.
It's going to be huge. Be huge.
I mean, there'll definitely be a gap, but it'll probably be like, I reckon I'll probably spend 2 to 3 weeks max on Gotham Knights. I can't imagine I'll do much more than that. The only time I'll ever do more than that is if I plan on doing like a whole new playthrough for some reason. If I need to do a new game plus or something,
Are you playing that on PlayStation or Xbox?
Oh, Xbox for Gotham Knights, yeah.
Will you plan to get the 1000G straight off the bat, or?
Hope so. I don't know. I haven't looked at the roadmap or the achievements yet, so I don't even know if they're doable.
Yeah,
I really hope there's no
most
difficulty.
Games are doable, aren't they? I think.
Yeah, I just hope there's no difficulty settings.
Oh, yeah, that'd be.
Because that's one of the good things about Deathloop is that there's no difficulty settings. It's all one. So more like Souls-like, it's just all as hard as it's going to be or as easy as it's going to be.
Yeah, totally.
That definitely gives it a massive boost in my mind. Like I really want to do away with difficulty settings now. Just get rid of them. I'm sick of them. Because they just add it into the trophies.
Except for accessibility, because it's important for that.
Well, okay, so we've got that as part of the news. If you want to talk about that already.
Sure.
That's like something I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, sure. No, please.
So there's an article basically saying about how accessibility is the future, and Xbox were talking about it specifically.
Looks like Phil Spencer and Vice President Sarah Bond were talking about it, if I'm not mistaken, at the Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah, Phil makes it a point to go to Japan every year, every September, talk about Xbox and the future of Xbox with Japanese games and publishers and stuff. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned this because while accessibility options for me obviously aren't important, they're more to do with people who are not as able to play games. That's the whole point. It's almost like a disability kind of mode, I guess. I'm not. I don't really want to. I don't think there's really much way of like a PC way of saying that, but it kind of is. Right? It is because
Yeah, I get what you
Xbox
mean,
even
I get
came
what
out
you
with
mean.
with that touchpad controller
Active
recently, right? For people
controller.
who don't have as
Yeah,
much
yeah,
motion, right? So they want to be able to do that for
yeah.
people, and that is pretty much what accessibility um, options are. It's just to make it so people who maybe have a tough time playing the game need to make it a bit more easier for themselves, so that whatever disability they have, they can sort of overcome that. Either they have the choice, right, of either playing the game as it is originally and being able to overcome it regardless of disability, or maybe having to put some sort of option in place to make it easy for themselves. Because if not, they won't be able to enjoy the game as much. Which is great. I'm all for that. It's brilliant. That should have always been a thing. But obviously, things like this, being able to implement stuff like this always takes time. So, I mean, the amount of accessibility options even in Deathloop was insane. So I think that's another reason why it's got a bit of a bump as well.
Yeah, 100%. It's one of the cool things about the video game industry is that they make so much effort to put things in like that, and it's got a lot of momentum even over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
and
right.
I think every medium should do it, right? Movies, books, whatever. Like we just got to the world needs to be a more accessible
I feel like
place.
a difficulty option should be in the accessibility options, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, 100%.
But they shouldn't be tied to achievements. As soon as I see an achievement tied to a difficulty, it puts me off instantly.
I hate it.
Hate it. It's literally one of the worst things about games for me in the current age we're in. It's just it makes me, it literally bumps the game down a point most of the time.
It is a bane. It is a bane. Every achievement hunter knows that when you look at that list and you see that complete it on hard, you think, oh.
Yeah, it just puts me off. It makes me just
Especially
think,
the really hard difficulties. Like, so for instance, spoiler alert, I've downloaded Mafia Definitive Edition on my PlayStation. Haven't played it. And one of the trophies, complete it on classic mode. I can assure you I'm not going to be doing that.
Is that the first one or the second one?
First one.
First one. I've done very hard mode on Mafia 2.
Same.
Which at the
time,
that's doable. Yeah, it's a bit more doable, but at the time it definitely was still hard.
Still hard.
But if I had the choice back then to be like to have done it or never done it, I'd have rather never done it because it was bloody hassle. Like I feel like difficulty can make or break your opinion on a game a lot of the time.
Look, I think you have to find that balance, don't you? I don't like playing on the easiest setting, but sometimes you do.
I love
on the game you play, right? Yeah. So
I tend to never go above normal, but most of the time I'm on easy or very easy.
I think that if you're looking for value for money and you don't mind the challenge, then hard mode's fantastic, right? You put it on, not for trophies and achievements, but in general. If you put it on hard mode, you're thinking, okay, well, look, the game's going to probably take me twice as long. I'm going to be more tactical about every environment and every combat scenario. And also, I like a challenge, so you feel like you've overcome something. So I think these are all good things. I think the problem, Jay, is that a lot of hard modes are not balanced very well at all. And my key example for this is Skyrim. If you play, I think it's legendary difficulty on Skyrim, it's not possible. It's boring. It's not possible. It's genuinely awful. So, yeah. I agree with you that, especially with trophies and achievements, let's get the difficulties out
there. Yeah, just get rid of difficulty that are mixed with achievements and still have difficulty in there, but only have it in there for incentive reasons, i.e. having to like collect or get more XP during the game if you play it on a hard difficulty, because they'd have that in Cyberpunk, or just have it for the fact of if people want to play the game again but with more of a challenge, have it in there, but do not tie it to achievements.
Yeah,
I hate that. Agree. Hate it.
And maybe what do you think then about the custom difficulty options? So AC Valhalla's got a lot of custom, so you can change combat, but your assassination's easier, which I love personally, because
that is basically,
I don't want a hard time when I assassinate.
Again, you could easily link that with accessibility options, because I think they even have that in Deathloop. Again, they have an option where you can change whether or not. I mean, actually, they have it in Heartbreaker, the ship game that just came out.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's basically you basically play as like a guy in space who breaks apart ships with like a laser gun, basically.
Oh, okay.
But they have a custom thing where you can have it so because you're in space, you have an oxygen tank, and your oxygen tank depletes over time. But you can change it so the difficulty is different depending on whether or not you have it, so your oxygen tank depletes, basically. It's like a similar thing, and then on Deathloop there's a similar thing where enemies like have slightly less health or whatever it might be, like a custom level of difficulty. So yeah, I agree. Like you should be able to customize it as much as you possibly want, because it'll dictate how much fun you have with the game, I imagine.
Yeah, and if you put it on hard and you get to a point where you're like, actually, this is not for me. Just turn it down. Just turn it down.
Yeah, tweak a setting. You know.
Yeah. No one's gonna think less of you. I played on Wolfenstein 2 and all its DLC on the easiest mode. Yeah. I literally couldn't give a damn because that game's really hard. So don't care.
There was that debate about games journalists playing games on like a games journalist like mode, essentially, which basically is like if you had it on like less than very easy, like it's basically God mode essentially. I think there is a line still. There is a line still. Like God mode is just annoying because it's like I'm not really having fun.
True.
Here. And I actually ride that line with Cyberpunk quite a bit. But what I have seen is since the updates, they've definitely tweaked enough of the damage that you deal now to be slightly less, so that it feels a bit more like normal. Because when I first played the game, it definitely felt like I was more of a god. Like I just one hit kill everything. But now it takes a bit. It takes at least 2 or 3 hits for me to be able to kill something now. So.
Well, like if you used to play the old GTAs and stuff, obviously you do the cheat mode, right? And then you probably get bored after an hour.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Yeah, cheat mode definitely did get boring after a while. So yeah, you don't want that.
Totally.
There is definitely a pendulum. You don't want to swing too far either end. You want to sort of balance in the middle somewhere.
Definitely. Definitely. Anything else, Jay, you want to comment on Deathloop wise before we move on?
Art style.
Okay.
I like the fact that the game is sort of, I think, set in the 60s. So everything is very 60s aesthetic. There's a lot of like vinyl and cool music. The guns sort of have like a kind of a late wartime feel to them. The clothes, you can actually change your outfit. I've technically only found one outfit so far, but it's one that I got from the Game Pass. Claiming your rewards or whatever it was. So I really want to be able to find more. I have no idea where to find them yet, but luckily, hopefully, I'll be able to find some more later. Yeah, I just love the overall vibe, theme, aesthetic of the game. It definitely, I'd say, if the game was set in any other time period, I probably wouldn't like it as much. I should say that. I feel like the time period of a game is a big factor in the reason why I like a game. Like Vampire is set in sort of Victorian London. Another reason why I love it so much. Same with AC Syndicate, similar sort of vibe, aesthetic, area, time frame. Like it's like a lot of the time the aesthetic or the time frame of a game can really help, in my opinion, of the game. And I'm glad that Deathloop is set in the time it's set in, because it almost feels like that kind of like that space age kind of time where like everything was about space travel. So imagine that kind of like aesthetic where it's like everything's like wires are coming out. It's all very like metallic and like white and orange is sort of like quite prevalent, like almost like our logo basically. It's a little bit like that kind of aesthetic. Like it's almost a mixture between like New Vegas was very 50s and then Deathloop is sort of very 60s. So imagine New Vegas if it was set in the 60s. That's kind of what Deathloop's like.
Cool. Okay. All right.
Very appealing. And I recommend that anybody play it if they can get their hands on it, because it is worth it. Very worth it.
Well, Jay, look, if you've got PS Plus, if I'm not mistaken, to any degree, at all Game Pass, you can play Deathloop right now. Mm-hmm. So go spread your wings, children. Go
spread your rings like Sonic. Spread your rings. My dad's gonna like that one. Jesus Christ.
He doesn't like a good disability with speech, eh?
That's good.
Right, speech impediment. Jay, let's move on to the news then, boyo.
Okay, do you want me to change thingy?
Nah, it's alright, because I don't want your CPU to blow up. So.
Yeah, my laptop is dying slowly.
So don't worry about that. Jay, first up, I haven't looked into it. I know what you're going to say, Nick, you're being a bit paranoid here, but the first news story is the GTA 6 leak, but I've only seen a few screenshots, so I didn't really want to.
Well, no, I'm not going to say anything spoilery. No, the only thing I wanted to talk about primarily was the fact that it did leak. The guy who did it has been arrested.
17-year-old,
yeah,
right?
17. He was 16 when he hacked into. He hacked into like banks and like really like high level security stuff as a 16-year-old in the UK. thing is, he got a slap
In
on the
UK?
wrist when this guy was already on a list. He hacked into like multiple things before, and then got us literally the government were like, yeah, just don't do it again, and he did it again. So now he's been fully arrested.
Yeah, I mean,
but people are saying that it wasn't just him who did it; it was also the rest of his hacking group. So he has like accomplices that they're trying to find at the minute as well. So
I don't know why, Jay. It just makes me laugh thinking of just people sitting in a room on a computer doing this sort of stuff. Like, I don't know why it just does.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's kind of like stupid or weird, but it's kind of like it's very like Mr. Robot-esque, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of very anonymous, kind of cool, and to a degree. It just depends on what they do with that information. It's a little bit Robin Hoody, you know, taken from the wrist and the port. It just depends who they attack and why they do it. Is obviously the sort of the thing behind it, I guess.
Agreed. And obviously he thought finding out about GTA 6 was worth going to
Yeah,
prison.
can you imagine him sitting in prison right now and they're like, oh, what are you in for? He's like, I want people to see that GTA 6 was going to have guns and helicopters. It's like, well done. Of course it was.
Well done.
Idiot.
Who are you?
So the other half of this, yeah, exactly. The other half of this story is that a lot of people online have been giving criticism, or we'll say a lot of Zoomers, because people our age, millennials, understand that games don't look good in development. Like the way
I had no idea that Gen Z's nicknames were Zoomers. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, they're Zoomers. Zoomers and Boomers are before us, millennials, and then Zoomers.
I thought they were people who go to Zumba classes, but anyway, we'll carry on.
Okay, so yeah, a lot of these Zoomers have been criticizing how the game looked, because the game does not look finished. Doesn't even look close to like polish.
Well, it's
or anything.
not finished.
Well, this is the thing. A lot of people don't realize that in game development, the last thing you do in game development is make the game look good.
Yeah.
It's literally the last step is to polish and make all the sort of like, you know, features on faces look good, or like lighting, or even like buildings. Like a lot of times, buildings and textures aren't even put in until like 5-6 months before the game's done. They're just like they're there, ready. They've been sorted out by a different section of the team, but they're then put into the game properly later on to be able to test and do stuff later. But yeah, since all these Zoomers have been criticizing the game, like, oh my god, the game looks awful, why the hell would I buy this kind of thing? Because they're too young and have no fucking clue what they're talking about. A lot of game devs have come out in favor of Rockstar and shown off what their games look like in development, to be like, yeah, it's messy, but you love the game. Like even like Last of Us stuff has come out, Uncharted stuff has come out. I think Just Cause was another one. There's a bunch of game devs who are like showing off all their alpha and like pre-alpha footage and like beta footage, being like, look how bad the game looked, but look how well the game sold and how much you Zoomers love this fucking game. Like even like all the Call of Duty developers are coming out and showing off stuff. So it's almost like this like dev community right now being like, fuck you, the game's gonna be good, shut the fuck up.
That's so cool, man.
Like a collective.
Well, to be fair, Jay, we never see, because they like presenting finished product like any artist. Yeah. We never see a lot. We don't see a lot of that stuff. Like I know we see a few docs and stuff, but we don't see a lot of it, right? So that's really cool. Yeah,
it's just like, you know, put a middle finger up to these absolute plebeians online, and I love it. I like, you know, it's just like these idiots have no idea what they're talking about.
I hope that, I don't know why I give a crap, but I kind of hope that helps develop Rockstar's relationship with other studios, because I wouldn't like to think that a studio like Rockstar,
I think it's kind of like pulled the gaming community together. Like all these like older gaming people are like, you know, like, yeah, like we respect it. A lot of people don't realize, but game developers are basically just artists. They're just making art.
Yeah.
And there's always a process. Trust the process, you know.
Yeah.
I think
you don't listen to like a half-finished, I don't know, Jay.
Well, I mean, the only comparison I can make is like a demo of a song, right? Like a demo is like the first recording of it that isn't even slightly tweaked. Like there's a whole album of Nirvana's demos that people absolutely love, and like B-side albums that get releases, you know.
Yeah, totally.
Like they can in certain instances be great, but in other ones not so much. So.
Just quickly, Jay, on the GTA 6 side of things.
Yeah.
I think the I guess the highlight, not highlight, I guess the reason it's big for me is that obviously Rockstar are notorious for never getting hacks or never getting leaks, right? Or never, like, nobody's seeing the game until they want you to show it. So I think it's like, I know they said
they're going to tighten up their security a lot.
Yeah, for sure. Do you think we're well, how far away do you think we are from GTA 6, Jay?
2024 is when we would probably start to see marketing at the earliest.
Wow. Okay.
We might even get a release late 2024, early 2025.
I mean, Red Dead 2 came out 2018. It's been 4 years.
I reckon it'll be 6 or 7 years till we get after Red Dead 2 until we get GTA 6. I think the window was in the next 2 or 3 years.
Cycles are getting longer, bro. They're getting longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's weird. We've sort of gotten to the point now where the quality of games is going to improve, but the technology behind that has improved also, which means that games should, in theory, take less time to make. But because the pace at which the quality of the games need the technology to be able to improve the time taken is sort of overtaking, it means that games are actually taking longer to make now. Which also doesn't help that obviously the technology is a lot newer, and like you've got Unreal 5 and you've got new consoles that people are still trying to figure out how to use. So it's like a concoction of stuff, trying to figure out how to get a game out efficiently, but with the same, if not better, amount of quality as previous iterations of what that company's made. So yeah, I'm not going to complain about games taking too long to come out, because the longer the better, if you ask me. And I think we've been proven that in multiple instances.
No, I agree, but I also do want to play video games.
Yeah, but there's never going to be a shortage of video games, Nick.
I know. I'm just being dramatic, really.
Yeah.
And it's not like I've got no games to play at the moment, so what do I know?
Yeah, we've got too big of a backlog for us to worry about anything. It's just the mood.
We definitely have at the moment.
We've got to worry more about whether we actually want to play the game versus what's coming out,
In fact, I'm enjoying this quiet period because I'm really hoping I do catch up on all the games.
Me too. I'm enjoying the quiet period.
We'll see what happens.
Because it gives me a chance to
enjoy
Deathloop.
Yeah, absolutely. You probably wouldn't have played that if you were in a busy period.
It's been a year since it came out. It's insane.
I know. Solium Infernum is a reimagining of a 2009 strategy cult classic, as reported by Joe Scrabbles at IGN. Jay, it's announced as part of VGX. Jay,
the reason why I put this in there was twofold. One, I don't actually know what the game is, but what did you say the game was? It was a 2009.
Oh shit! I've just deleted the news story now. You've caught me off guard.
Did you say RTS? What you said?
I'll tell you after this short break.
Do.
Yeah, multiplayer strategy game.
Okay, so that excites me, because the video showed off a cinematic trailer, which obviously didn't show up any gameplay. So I was like, oh, the trailer's awesome, so I wonder what the gameplay's going to be like. So I'm keeping an eye on this game now. But the main reason why I put it in here is because this might be the best cinematic trailer I've ever seen in my life, and I recommend you watch it. It's about 1.5 minutes. And it genuinely gave me like goosebumps and made me go, "Oh my god!" Like, it is probably the best cinematic trailer I've ever seen. Honestly, my mouth was just like dropped. My tongue was hanging out. I was like, "Oh." That doesn't happen very often. Like, I was surprised at how good it was.
Sounds like an old World of Warcraft cinematic trailer.
Yeah, similar, but because they're not showing off gameplay, I know the gameplay isn't going to be very good. Or chances are it's not going to be. When a cinematic trailer is that good, most of the time the gameplay isn't actually that great. But I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to check up, and we'll see where it ends.
100%.
Because I even called. There's like a tagline at the end of the cinematic trailer, and I called what it was going to say, and I was like, "Oh my god, that was so metal and badass." Like, it's a very metal trailer. I'll give it that. It looks awesome. I can't wait.
The Microsoft CEO, Satya Nadella, is still confident that the company's acquisition of Activision Blizzard will be approved, and said, quote, "If this is about competition, let us have competition." Yeah,
that was very memeable video clip online of that person saying that, which was quite funny.
Also, that was coming from an interview with Bloomberg, and I haven't read this, so do take this with a big pinch of salt, or handful of salt. But I do agree with him. I really don't think Xbox are even close to having a dominating element in the market at the moment. What do you think?
Yeah.
Really, Jay?
I think it's closer than you think.
Jay.
It can be quite a distance, but it doesn't necessarily mean it isn't close. Because it could be. It used to be further. Let's just say, okay, we can definitely agree it used to be a lot bigger of a distance, and they've closed the gap.
Yeah, in terms of Xbox One sort of thing.
In terms of PS versus Xbox.
Yeah, so what I mean is like Xbox One to PlayStation. PlayStation outsold Xbox One 2-1.
Yeah, the
But now I
consoles,
don't think
PlayStation
it's...
always win the battle on console sales. Always.
Well, they didn't for... Well, this is true. This is true. But 360 put up a hell of a good fight.
Yes.
A hell of a good fight. And was winning for a few years.
Yes. But it did get overtaken eventually.
But yes, PS5 is selling more than Xbox. So and also Xbox aren't releasing any exclusives at all. So so in that sense, I don't think they are.
I think
dominating,
Redfall is exclusive, is it not?
I think so. Well, I mean, it's Arcane, right? And they own them now. So
yeah.
What I mean is they're not releasing any at the moment.
I think what we can
right
say
now.
about this last year is 2022 has been the year of the acquisition.
Definitely.
Or even the last 2 or 3 years might even be called the years of acquisition. Because literally, I get a notification on Twitter of like, this company is as you know, the acquisition of this company. It's like, Jesus Christ, like Microsoft and PlayStation are going to be the two giant heads of all these game companies eventually. It's going to be insane.
Well, I don't know about that, Jay. I mean, Microsoft might be, yeah, sure, but like Tencent,
Tencent,
and then also
massive.
Embracer Group, you know,
Embracer Group still has the most.
Mental.
But yeah, the reason why I put this in there, the Microsoft acquisition thing, was because we were discussing before about Call of Duty coming to Game Pass. Potentially.
Yeah.
And how much, at the minute, I'm looking to get back into Call of Duty, and I'm thinking Modern Warfare 2 might be it. But I just don't know. I don't want to pay 70 quid for a game I'm only going to be playing the multiplayer of. And I don't know how long we'll be playing it for.
100%.
I'm a bit worried. Because it's funny, because I'm not a massive fan of Warzone. And Warzone has almost become as big, if not bigger, than the original multiplayer of Call of Duty now. So you're basically playing, the majority of what you're paying for is Warzone and multiplayer, really.
So
even though Warzone's
free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, like, it almost feels like these, when it, like, I don't know, I can't really explain. Like, I guess you can just play Warzone as is, but I don't want to play Warzone, I just want to play multiplayer. Like, I kind of wish, I don't know, because, like, what are you paying for with Call of Duty? It literally is just multiplayer and campaign, obviously, but campaign is a little bit less than whatever. But I guess you're just paying for, like, the upgrade, really, aren't you?
Yeah. Jay,
just doesn't feel like enough a lot of the time.
Heed these words. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, the new one, is going to come to Game Pass.
Yeah,
and all the old Call of Duties are going to come to Game Pass, so don't buy it.
Yeah, I'm not buying it. I've got too much to play between now and then.
Exactly. And also, the acquisition
Game
genuinely might be finished by Jan-Feb next year, so it's not.
Which would be perfect timing, actually, because I kind of wish it would be done either January or March, because then I can get a few games out of the way and actually have time to dedicate to Call of Duty if I need to.
And also, I agree, Jay, right? Like, for me too, if I am going to try a genuine Call of Duty, even with the multiplayer again, this is going to be the time, obviously.
Modern Warfare 2 is sort of like the best Call of Duty of all time.
Yeah.
The original Modern Warfare 2, obviously not the new one.
Yeah.
I still don't think that any game has come close to it so far.
And just to let you know, Jay, me and Will have already discussed this, but we've got full intentions to go back to the old Call of Duties if they when they come to Game Pass, because they're all still ridiculously priced on the store, and we want to try out zombies and stuff.
Yeah,
it's gonna be a great time.
Hook me up. I'm in.
Let's do it.
I'm in.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I can't wait. I remember back in the day when we did zombies with like Ryan and Max and Jimbo. That was good times.
It was good times.
Ooh, they were good times. Black Ops 2 or 3? Might have been 3 actually.
Yeah. Dude, I don't understand how like our minds used to work, because we would get home and we would just be like, yeah, zombies, yeah. But like there'd be no objective. It would just go on, you know what I mean? Like I always have to have an objective for everything now. Yeah, it's
it was the good old days, you know.
It's just because you had fun playing it, you just went on it. But like, rarely do I go home and think, oh, I have fun playing that, so I'll just play it. Like, I need an objective. I need you know what I mean?
This brings up a good point. I very briefly mentioned this to you last night about how I'll speak for myself now. I want to see if you agree with me. But sure. I kind of need to have more of a different mentality when it comes to games. just have fun with the game and not worry about the achievements as much. I know we've spoken about this a lot before, but part of the reason why I'm enjoying Deathloop so much is because there's no difficulty, there's no missable achievements. I can do everything and just come back to it whenever I want and do it. And I feel like that is back when we used to have more fun with games, and now we've sort of got this more mentality of we need to be able to do everything during the first playthrough or maybe the second playthrough as New Game Plus, and it's sort of making the game not as what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for? When you try to do something off the cuff? What another word for that?
Your biceps are so big.
Thank you.
Improvised. Off the cuff. Spontaneous.
Spontaneous. Yes, I want to make games feel a bit more spontaneous, a little bit less structure, just more flaily. That's part of the reason why I love Cyberpunk so much, is because I literally just went in and was like, right, I'm going to play it. I'm not going to worry about any achievements. But then I happened to get them all after I did my first playthrough, you know. So the first playthrough was just a sort of like wacky, get everything done, or like, you know, just play it how you want to play it. And that's probably part of the reason why I absolutely love my first playthrough. And I'm kind of having a very similar thing with Deathloop. I don't know how you feel about that with your games. Do you plan on having that? Trying to implement that a bit more, or do you not? Would you rather be more I feel like I need to find a balance of structure and getting achievements versus just having fun with it.
Sure. I think for what it's worth, Jay, if you care, I think you're getting a lot better at it.
Yeah.
I know that.
It feels like a muscle that you have to, you know, build up, right?
Yeah.
Almost.
I think it's especially with some of the games that you've played, like since we did the podcast and things, you've definitely like.
I think we've leveled up as gamers, just in general, right? Like we've gotten a lot better over the last 2 or 3 years.
Definitely. I know I've gotten better in terms of skill. Right?
Yeah, I think we both have. I think we're both amazing. Like I think you've leveled up massively with Dark Souls and Bloodborne. Like that is a big step up, trust me. Because when I hit that milestone, I felt like a different level. Like it just felt like a whole.
Totally.
Dark Souls is like one of those. It almost feels like there's certain games you have to hit as a gamer to be able to know that you've leveled up. Totally. And the Dark Souls series is definitely one of those games. I agree.
Yeah. So, an example from me. Okay. I'll try and keep this short, Jack. I'll try and keep this short. So I think it is a case by case basis, right? So like, look at Final Fantasy 15 for me and you is probably really, really similar in the sense of played it, ended up falling in love with it, and then it just so happens that fortunately, because the trophies were well designed, you can pretty much get the platinum once you realize you're in love with it. So you kind of halfway through the journey, you're like, actually, I could do this. I could do this. And then you did it, right? And I think that comes down to trophy design, and I think that comes down to falling in love with the game halfway through. Now, there's going to be some games where before we jump in, like Cyberpunk, you're thinking, I don't want to I don't have to worry about that bull. I want to go in. I want to enjoy the game. It's what I'm here to do. I don't want to, you don't watch a film to finish a film. You watch it to watch it. So
yeah, it's about
you want to go in
journey,
and you want to watch
not the ending.
Exactly. And I think I'm going to do that with Starfield, for instance. There is no way I'm going to give a crap about the achievements in Starfield until I've played through a lot of the game, right? And if the achievements are well designed, it shouldn't prevent anything serious, right? And glitches aside and all that sort of stuff. However, Jay, maybe there's an RPG which I jump into where I think, actually, I know either I want to platinum this, or I know that I'm not going to replay it to try and platinum it, even if I love it. So I need to check out and see what I need to do if I do want to do the platinum.
Yeah,
so I'll give you a couple of. Go on.
I agree. No, I agree. That's exactly what I had in my head. There's certain instances where you need to have a bit more of a structure because you only really have one chance to get it through the playthrough. Whereas other times you don't. You have a second chance. Like you can come back to it in your first playthrough. You had to come back and get the achievements. Whereas other times there's certain, like Wolfenstein 1 and 2 are the perfect instance of that, where you have to do certain things throughout the playthrough. But that to me ruins, like that's a bit of a bad thing for me. That makes me like the game less. So yes, I agree.
Yeah, because like maybe you're like looking at a video while you play it, and you just want to play the mission.
Yeah, I don't want to be following a guide while I'm doing it. I've done it a lot, and it has been a fun experience. but sometimes it can be a bit grating.
100%.
Yeah.
And an example, I'm losing track of my thoughts here. Look, I'm doing it with Stray right now. I'm following
you're
a
playing
collectibles
it,
guide while
finally,
I play
okay.
it. And obviously I'll
I
talk about
really
it.
wanna
Hopefully
play
I'll talk
that
about it
game.
next week, so I'll finish it this week, right? But that is a game where I actually kind of enjoy the vibe of watching and like finding the collectibles and then doing them as I do it.
Probably because it's also
game.
not a very long game. That's probably part of the reason.
That too.
Like imagine a 20-30 hour campaign where the entire time you've got to be looking at a video for 5 minutes, you know, versus a 6-hour campaign where you're not going to be. It's not going to take you that long.
And also, like, you do that thing where you watch like the person in the video getting the collectible, and you think, well, I know what's coming up now. I
yeah,
can see
it kind of spoils it.
Yeah,
like 30 seconds or it's like it can do that a lot. Yeah, it's rather annoying.
And I think another example of a game where I know that the achievement, the 1000G is possible and definitely gettable, but I will not be playing through it again if I miss something. Guardians of the Galaxy, that fucking collectible is the way that system works is so bad, Jay.
Yeah, it's not great, but I managed to get. I think I got everything in the first playthrough.
You did, I think you did.
I'm
And so you told me, by the way, they're missable, so don't miss them. So I'm following a guide for that. Even though I probably wouldn't necessarily want to per se, there's no way I'm playing through that game twice. So.
You know, no, I had exactly the same thing. I was like, I'm not playing through this again. There's no way. I'm just going to play through it the once. Although weirdly, recently I did think to myself, oh, I wouldn't mind playing that through that again. But the thing is, my second playthrough is more likely going to be a fun playthrough of like just playing through it and having fun with it. So I think I actually might come back to Guardians. There's definitely a chance of me doing it.
And that's all I've got to say on that, I think.
Wow, I have got 1000G on that. Totally forgot. Dude, Guardians was honestly the most underrated game of last year. It's in my top 20 easy. Top 15 maybe.
Jay, it's been so long since I've finished when I go back and finish it.
Same as Deathloop. Doable.
It's a lot.
Doable.
I'm gonna have to watch a YouTube movie of all the cutscenes to remind myself of what's happened up to the point.
Oh, what Guardians? I don't think you need to.
Really?
No, I don't think that's necessary. I think you'll enjoy it just as much.
I haven't played it in a long time.
How far did you get through?
Halfway.
Yeah, you'll be fine. Trust me. Yeah, it won't make a difference. It'll click. Okay. You'll start to see things and be like, oh yeah, okay, I remember.
No,
you can do what you want. I'm not telling you what to do.
When you argue that I'll enjoy the story more once if like I play. I mean, I did play through it in 3 days. I get that, but when you say that I would enjoy the story more if I did know all of what I've done before it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. It wouldn't take you that long. It'd probably take about an hour and a half to watch as much as you've gone through already. So,
and then
that's another game actually that felt like it could have been a really good TV show or movie, but that's only because Guardians is a movie, so that makes sense.
True.
Oh man, I would have loved if they made that into a TV show. That'd been awesome.
I was going to say that the Guardians TV show would be sick.
I mean, they kind of are. I think they're doing a Christmas special this year, and then the third movie comes out next year because they finished it now, and James is now currently in the editing room.
Oh wow! So, okay.
Guardians coming up.
Very good. Jay, let's continue with the news.
Yeah, please. Doing some pretty cool tangents. I like this style, by the way, of like news tangent.
Yeah.
Makes it feel more like a conversation.
I'm trying to be more present with you because I know that I'm not sometimes.
I'm in a good mood today, so that helps.
Yeah, me too, man. I don't know what's going on.
Deathloop,
I'm in a really good mood.
Good mood. Put me in a great mood.
Sorry, I gotta say this right. Is it Atelia? Riser 3?
Oh, Atelia Riser, yeah.
Atelia Riser 3, Alchemist of the End, and the Secret Key.
Yeah,
and is this title long enough, guys?
It's Japan. What do you expect?
Syllables in it, man.
It's not long enough.
Holy, that just went on.
Make it longer.
Oh my god! And that's yesterday.
Yeah, so Atelia Riser games. I've played the first and second one. I've spoke about them both on here. I only recently, the last month or two, finished the second one. And yeah, I think they bring one out roughly every 2 or 3 years, so can't wait for the next one. I will not be getting it day one. I only ever get it for half price. I bought the first one half price, and I bought the second one half price. So I'm not paying. They're like 70 quid, yeah, like 60, 70 quid. And I'm like, fuck. I mean, it's definitely worth it in some instances. I'd say it's more like worth a 55 or a 60 max. But I will I'll never pay anything more than. I'll never pay anything more than 40. I think I paid 38 for the last one. So.
Jay, 70 quid is so much money
Yeah,
for a video game.
I will say the Atelia games, they're really good. For me, they're up there. So
Sure.
I like them a lot. They're definitely my wheelhouse, my bag, baby.
When's it coming out?
Probably next year.
Okay, cool.
I don't really care when it's coming out because I'm not playing it until it's half price anyway. I probably won't be playing it until 2024, maybe late 2023.
Okay. By the way, just a quick side note, I don't think Elden Ring's gone on sale yet. I know why, because it keeps selling, but I'm just letting you know.
I think they've sold 20 million copies now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I think 2 weeks ago it was 18 mil maybe, so they're sort of getting close.
That's a lot.
Let's double check. I don't know if it's updated, but they're getting close to 20 mil. And it's only been out.
I think that's like Red Dead 2
It's been out over
levels,
a year.
You know?
No, actually, no. It came out this year, didn't it? February this year.
Yeah, it came out in like Feb or March.
Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Sales.
God, sorry guys, we're just looking up some sales figures there.
In August it was 16.6 million copies worldwide. So it's just getting up and up and up. Can't wait, man. We know Elden Ring is going to be Game of the Year. But let's just say this, just for future prediction: if Elden Ring doesn't win Game of the Year, there's something wrong with. There's something wrong. Something's gone. We're in the wrong timeline.
By the way, Jay, according to this website, which I don't trust, Statista.com, Red Dead 2 sold 29 million copies by Feb 2020, right? So this is 2 years after it was out. It's now sold in those 2 years and a few months another 20 million copies.
That's false.
There's no way, surely.
Yeah, I still need to finish Red Dead 2. I'm gonna have to come back to that.
It does say 10th of August 2022, news story, has sold 45 million units.
Yeah, Rockstar, buddy.
Interesting.
Swimming in it.
Very interesting. Anyway, enough of that.
Yeah.
Last news story: Ubisoft.
All right, buddy. What's his name?
Sean Connery.
There we go, Sean Connery.
Ubisoft is shifting to a $70 price point for AAA games.
Yes.
Great.
What's it? Skull and Bones is going to be the first game of that new thing.
Because they want it to fail, Jay. Because they want it to fail. Yeah, it was during an interview with Axios, Ubisoft CEO. I'm really sorry. I don't want to mispronounce your name, sir, so I'm not going to pronounce it. Thoughts on this, Jay?
Bad timing. The world is currently in a crisis of money and not having it. And what do they fucking do? They increase the prices of their entertainment. If anything, it should lower it by $5 or £5. I think all games should be 55 base.
I mean, I would buy a lot more games if they were 55 quid.
Yeah, because then when they were on sale, they'd be at like 40.
I mean, I say that, Jay. I haven't bought Elden Ring, which is 50.
They just know they can get more money out of people, so they're trying to get as much as they possibly can. Like, you got to think, right? The difference between a 60 base game and a 70 base game is obviously just a 10, but that times that 10 by another million copies sold, another 10 million. It's not a lot, but it's something. It's the difference between an extra couple of months of development in their next project. So
sure.
But yeah, I'm not paying 70. Like, I know, even we know that Call of Duty have already introduced their 70 base, Activision 70 base with Call of Duty. Skull and Bones is giving another 70 base. I don't think Dead Island and Hogwarts are 70 base. I think they're 55 or 60 base.
Nah, Hogwarts is definitely 70, bro.
Is it? I'm gonna double check that.
It's gotta be. It has to be.
Because I've already pre-ordered Gotham Knights, and I think that was 60 base.
Really?
Let me check.
So it's really up to the publisher's discretion as to if the game's 60 or 70 at this point. It's not like a uniform everything 70 now. Because I guess not, because Elden Ring's 50, right? That's so confusing. Why are some games cost more than others?
FIFA 23 standard base 60.
Right. Okay.
Actually, no, that's a lie.
Oh.
It's 60 base on Xbox One, but 70 base on Series X.
That is dodgy.
So yeah, I think we've actually we're in the era now where 70 is pretty much the base on most things.
Right. Okay.
but only for next gen. On
Fine.
previous gen it's 60, on next gen it's 70, which is
Okay.
slimy as shit. Because they're basically selling you a shit game for 10 less. Gotham Knights is 65 base,
How interesting.
but 80 deluxe. That's very interesting.
Quick one for you, Jay. I forgot to put this on the news stories. Did you see the Yakuza game announcements?
Yeah, I did put that on there. I think I might have deleted it, but
Oh, maybe I deleted it then.
whatever. Yeah, no, I did.
In
Yeah,
short,
but they did say they're not
guys,
going
for
to
those-
change. They're not going to keep it the RPG, right?
So the developers who make Yakuza, they did loads of announcements. I believe, Jay, they announced 3 games. They announced Yakuza 8, which is more traditional Yakuza. They announced a remake of an old samurai Yakuza game they did, I believe, way back when. And then they also announced Like a Dragon 2,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken. Could be wrong about that. Either way, a lot of Yakuza coming out.
The main sort of takeaway from that article was basically, I think the lead designer was like, we're not married to the idea of RPG Yakuza games. They're going to take it back to original, potentially.
And
I think they'll probably
it
do
Like
the
a Dragon,
Dragon. Yeah, I think they might do the Like a Dragon 2 one. They'll probably keep that RPG, but everything else, I'll just go back to normal Yakuza.
Fair. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, it seems the consensus is most base games are either 60 or 65 or 70. Just depends. Legacy is 65 base on Series X.
Wow.
And Dead Island is 60. There's no different version for consoles.
Fair play.
Which I think actually Dead Island 2 is only coming out on next gen.
That would be good. Hogwarts Legacy is, isn't it?
No, it's on Xbox One as well. Which is bad, if you ask me.
Okay, Jay,
I think Gotham
on,
Knights
please.
is just
next gen.
Next gen as well.
Yeah, I think we need to cover the news story when they announced that. Jay, next up. Guess whose review?
Is it my turn to guess, is it?
It is.
Okay.
Me and Jay usually, we haven't done it in a while, but we usually alternate weeks in terms of picking a random game review from about a random game from a random media outlet. We pick 3 quotes from the text, and then the other person's got to guess the game based on the quotes. Jay, are you ready?
We're currently equal on 34 each, if you're wondering.
34 each?
Yeah.
Oh, also, while I remember, because I keep forgetting when we record, Jay, we did not shout out our 69th episode, which I'm very sad about.
Okay.
So, appropriate, inappropriate emojis.
Brilliant.
Commence now.
Yeah, we have to wait until our 420th one now, don't we? Such a long time. Yeah.
What the hell's a 420?
Serious?
Yeah.
420 Blaze it? 20th of April?
What the fuck are you talking about?
It's like the weed day or something. It's like a day where they smoke weed. 420.
Hold on a minute. I'm talking about 60, as in 69.
Yeah, I know, but it's just like a thing. People online. No, people online always say 69 420. It's just like they're joined now. Don't worry.
Okay, right, okay.
God, talk about living under a rock. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, Zumbas. Okay.
I'm just constantly on the internet. I don't know what you call it.
Translator?
I don't know. Let's come up with a term.
Sage. Okay, quote number 1.
Yes.
Gameplay wise, not a whole lot has changed, and neither has the annoying, unskippable, minutes long cutscenes. You can change the music from the remastered version to the classic soundtrack, which is a nice touch for people like me who prefer the original score. Also, these quotes are not easy, but not really, really hard, I would say.
Alright, one more time. Let's hear it again.
Gameplay-wise, not a whole lot has changed, and neither have the annoying, unskippable minutes-long cutscenes. You can change the music in blank from the remastered version to the classic soundtrack, which is a nice touch for people like me who prefer the original score.
Oh, damn it. Hang on. So what's had a remaster? There's obviously...
And you can change the thing to
there's
the
obviously Last of Us. Oh damn it! I really don't keep up with remaster games. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it on the first one. Remastered
What
game.
I would say is I'm not going to pick a game that you definitely don't know. If you know what I'm
that's
saying.
that's what's making me. Oh no! Well, no. Well, I mean, you did mention it earlier, but I don't know if that's the only one I can really think of. I don't remember anything about unskippable things in those, or about the music in those. Remaster. I'm just gonna guess Mafia, and just go to the next one because I don't have a clue.
A fair guess, Jay.
Okay.
Not right.
Yeah, didn't think it was.
Fair guess though.
Yeah, it's the only one I can
Quote
think
number
of.
2. The first thing I noticed was the visual upgrade to NPCs and enemies. Blocky PlayStation 2 era textures still present in the PS3 Vita remaster have been rounded out on the PS4 version, bringing them more in line with the hero's smooth contours.
Okay, I'm literally getting like 3 or 4 different things here. I'm getting.
Okay.
For some reason, I got Tomb Raider as like a thing.
Interesting.
I'm getting Destroy All Humans for some reason.
Interesting.
Because they've had redos or reboots or remasters.
Reduxes, yeah.
Can you say the thing again?
Yeah, the first thing I noticed was the visual upgrade to NPCs and enemies. Block PlayStation 2 era textures still present in the PS3 Vita remaster have been rounded out on the PS4 version, bringing them more in line with the hero's smooth contours.
I think this might even be a Final Fantasy game. Damn it. I don't know. I don't even think I even have. I'm going to guess a Tomb Raider.
Final answer?
Yeah, I can't. I have no fucking clue.
Incorrect answer.
Damn it.
Last quote, Jay. In Eternal Calm, I saw Yuna's fingers twitch anxiously as an old man droned on about his problems.
Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Yuna?
Yeah.
I think Yuna's from Final Fantasy 10-2. So it's like Final Fantasy 10/10-2 remaster.
Correct.
You bastard.
You to be fair, mate, on that second quote, you were popping, you were getting there.
It's funny. I did think of that in my head, but I thought there's no way he'd do that. Okay.
Well, I thought I'd do it because I know that you keep saying how you need to play it.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I've already begun playing it, but just not very well, obviously. Yeah, Yuna definitely gave it away. I was like, oh god, I know that name.
I was really hoping you did. Didn't want another Fable 2.
Yeah, I'm glad I got that as well, because Jesus Christ. Oh, that was good. I like that one. The PS2 was like, the PS Vita thing almost got me too. I thought it must be a Final Fantasy game, but I just don't know which one.
Yeah, well, I think the Final Fantasy X remaster must be one of the only games which has got a remaster for PS3 and Vita, but a almost separate remaster for PS4. Like they still made some visual upgrades to it.
Yeah.
Here's a question for you, Jay. They made new in-game content, or they had new in-game content for that. Do you think they literally went back and made content for that remaster for like a PS2 game?
Oh, I mean,
that blows my mind.
That's a good question. I don't know.
Like,
They could.
Are you telling me like they go back and make it look old? Like, how does that work?
You've seen the Bloodborne PS1 demaster, haven't you?
Demake. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Similar thing. It's quite easy to make a game look like it came from PS1 or PS2.
Well, let's not call it easy, Jay, but I hear what you're saying.
I mean, it took one guy a couple of months to do that, so.
No, I think it took him like 2 years.
I'm pretty sure it took him like 6 to 9 months. I think is what he says. But
really?
to get like I think to him to get the beta out, it took him that long. But for the full release, it was a lot longer. And it's not even the full game. It's only like a quarter of the game. Not even that.
Sure. All right, very good, Jay. Well, it's time for my topic now. I believe.
Go on then.
So I've got. You look so confused. Okay. So quick update, Jay. Something I'm very pleased with. I finished the Valhalla roguelite mode and mastery challenges.
Okay. Yeah, I saw the challenges thing because I saw you got the trophy or the achievement.
Oh man, jeez. So So I'm now back up to all the achievements for Valhalla, which makes me really, really happy.
Sweet.
So I'll quickly tell you the process for that. So the mastery challenges came out. I gave a few a go. I did most of them. They were a little bit annoying. I won't lie.
I'm still stuck on one of them.
Oh my god.
I just can't be asked to
we
do
can
it.
talk through that if you want to. But
Maybe
yeah, it's
later.
up to you. And then basically I think I told you on the podcast, Jay, but I was doing a challenge, and basically there was a glitch where if I have to pickpocket a guard to get a key to unlock a prisoner to take him outside. And I did it like twice, and it wouldn't show that I picked up the key. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I can't even be bothered to like try and figure out a fix for it. I'm just gonna come back to it because I knew that they were going to release some, the final chapter stuff. So I'll just come back to it when that comes out. And then, anyway, lo and behold, this roguelite mode comes out, and I think actually that's going to be perfect for playing while I edit the podcast. So I'll download it and I'll start doing that. And I'll do like Hades. I'll do like one run a day to just slowly build up my, better
learn
skills
the maps
and all that stuff.
know what works and what's the best abilities and stuff like that. Yeah.
Exactly. So I started in the roguelite mode, and to be fair, this is probably a good chance for us to both talk about it, right? Because I don't think neither of us have talked about it. So what were your thoughts on the roguelite mode? Because you played it once or twice, just once?
Just the once, and I got pretty far. Just on the first one. Might have been luck, I don't know, might have been skill. Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It definitely could have seen myself. I think, I don't know. I've got a bit of Assassin's Creed fatigue. I'm not gonna lie. So it's kind of hard for me to like even think about enjoying it. I love what they've done with the skill tree aspect of it, of like making it. It is a lot like Hades or a lot like these roguelike games, where the more you play it, the more powerful you get, so the easier the runs become. Like all of that is genius. I think I kind of wish they'd made the maps a little smaller. They seem to be quite long. It's quite a distance you have to travel. I think if they made that like a third of the way shorter, I'd appreciate it more, because it takes a long time to do one run. Like you're talking like 2 hours at least.
Yeah, you've got like 4 areas. So you've got an ice area.
Yeah.
A kind of
like a grassy kind of craggy area.
Rocky, yeah, and then you've got a
volcanic area.
Well, yeah, volcanic area at the end, and then you've got a boggy area as well.
Yeah.
So So yeah, you've got all those 4 areas, and like you say, Jay, there's at least 4 or 5 different stages, if not more, of combat encounters you can do on each place. So there's quite a lot.
I kind of wish they'd just taken one off of each one, because it just felt too long. I kind of wish a run didn't take longer than an hour, honestly. Like anything more than that, it just felt a bit too long.
Yep.
Yeah, I think, but that's just them trying to make it feel like more of a content. That's when they didn't quite get the quality and quantity balance correct, unfortunately.
Agreed. Yeah. Totally, I totally agree with that.
You made a good point about that glitch thing, though. Like I feel like that's been fairly prevalent in Valhalla. Since day one. There's been a number of glitches which have affected me a lot, but I'm hoping in the next game they'll fix that, because it's going to be a lot smaller of a game. I think the reason why there were so many glitches is because it was so big of a game, like 150-hour bloody RPG, that you're going to have a lot of bugs. Like you're not going to be able to find everything. Versus a 20-30-hour stealthy Assassin's Creed, you're probably going to be able to, find everything.
Yeah, totally. I found out. So what happened was, Jay, while I was doing the achievements for this roguelite mode, I went on True Achievements for one of them, and it said for this one that was glitched, oh, look, this is glitched. You can't get it right now. So it genuinely was broken. And what annoyed me about that was, 1, it was a free update, and 2, who's playing this update in terms of mastery challenges? Who's playing this apart from like the hardcore Valhalla fans who probably want achievements? So for the 10 people that are playing this, it's broken, which makes it even worse a little bit, really.
Yeah, because let's say like 10 million sold on Valhalla. 1 million of those have probably played up to this point of DLC, maybe more, if that.
Yeah.
And we're probably only talking maybe a couple thousand who've actually bothered to play this roguelike thing. So yeah, there's not going to be many people, and of those people, the people who are actually like bothering to get the achievements, it's not going to be many. So very small amount of people pissed off, which is whatever. But I can regardless, it's just annoying, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So doing the roguelite mode, and basically I started enjoying it more than I thought I would. Really, it is a bit long in the tooth, but
Yes,
there was a
that's
couple
a
of
good way to
loadouts
put
I
it.
did. There was a couple of loadouts I did where I was like, oh yeah, this is quite cool,
Yeah,
and
it feels
you do
nice.
feel like you're getting better and all that kind of stuff. And like, while it is a bit dragged out, as you say, Jay, I think it is still short enough to for you to finish it realistically.
Just, yeah.
So I polished off the achievements for that last night, and sort of had a few lucky runs there, which I was really happy about. And then obviously uninstalled Valhalla until we get that final DLC, and we'll play through that, I'm sure, both of us. But like you say, I'm finished with Valhalla now. I'm probably not as fatigued as you.
I'm
I
very
imagine.
fatigued. Like, even thinking about it makes me feel tired. I've put
But I am
I put well over 200 hours into that game, really,
sure.
at this point.
But
It's
I'm
just so
really
much.
looking forward to Mirage now, because it's going to be a more of a old school
Yeah,
AC.
streamlined, more old school. We're sort of going back to era 1 of AC. I do like they're doing the whole Activision thing where like you get a different style of AC depending on what game comes out. Like, you've got the stealthy, story-driven one, you've got the RPG, and then you've got the whatever else is going to come out after that. So I like that they're splitting it up rather than just making each one thing. That is nice.
Totally.
I'm looking forward to that. I cannot wait to play the Japan one, and I can't wait to play the German one. The German one's going to be so sick. I really hope we are right, the fact that it is the German witch trials. That'd be interesting.
I think that would be a good time era.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to keep
We haven't done
an
this.
eye
Have we
out
done?
for
We haven't done the
on Assassin's
1600s yet,
Creed.
have we, in AC? Or the 16th century, so it'd be 1700s, I think.
Yeah, I think, isn't Black Flag around that time period? Or no, it's after. It's just before the AC3, which is what, 1800s.
Yeah, it's like late 1700s, early 1800s.
Right. Okay.
It's like
So maybe we
1805 or something.
haven't.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I have to have a think about that one.
There's loads to do, loads of other history bits to find.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing Mirage, Jay. Yeah, I really am. I hope it's finished. Like, I hope it's polished, but I'm really looking forward to it. On that note, Jay, for some reason, I'm not sure if it's Assassin's Creed or the announcement of Mirage, or I don't know what it is, but I think I'm really starting to feel games again. Like, I know I have been playing them off and on, but I really haven't been playing them that much, truth be told.
Seems to be like an ebb and flow type thing, right? I think 2020 was like a big one for me. 2021 dipped, and 2022 has sort of been high up again. I think we might get a bit more of a sustained thing of that in 2023. There seems to be a lot of really good games coming next year. So
true.
I don't know, it could be ramping up.
So yeah, I'm really looking forward to finishing off a few more games, and I'm really like I haven't in a while, kind of on a Saturday that I've got free or whatever, thought I really fancy, or I really want to play that, but I am now, which is nice.
I'd say
so
the last
cool.
month I've just been, every weekend it's just been miserable. I've just like sitting here doing nothing, staring at the TV screen and being like, oh, what am I in the mood for?
Sure.
It's so miserable.
You've been watching a lot more, haven't you? Like films and stuff?
Yeah, I watched a bunch of movies, but I'm sort of off that now. I don't know.
Part of that reignition for me also, Jay, was I've started listening to the AC game soundtracks again. So Assassin's Creed, I'm not sure if they did this. Yeah, I'm not sure if they did this since the 15th anniversary, mate, but they've basically collated all of the soundtracks under the artist for Assassin's Creed on Spotify. So if you go on there, all the game soundtracks are on there. So in terms of the first game, it's really atmospheric. You've got some really cool sounding soundtracks that will take you back to the game. In AC2, you've got the key themes that have basically carried on since. The things like Ezio's Family, Earth, these tracks are iconic now for the whole franchise. And then it just carries on, really. You've got good tracks on each. You've got the sea shanties on 4, which are great. And obviously sea shanties went through a bit of a peak over the last few years. So there's a lot to love there, and it really brings you back into playing those games. So that's kind of reignited my spark a bit, and I think that's probably why I'm excited for Mirage 2 as well.
Good. Yeah, no, I need to give myself a bit of an AC break because I'm so fatigued on it.
Which is crazy, Jay, because that's just from post-launch DLC. That's not even from like another game. You know what I mean?
I feel like we've had so much of it though. Just feels
we have. We
I
have.
wonder if the next two games
yeah.
are going to get as much post-launch content. I kind of wish that the only games that had post-launch content were the smaller games. So Mirage gets loads, the Feudal one gets hardly any, and then Hex gets loads, and then the one after that gets hardly any.
I think Hex is going to be as big as Japan, mate.
Oh really? Is Hex supposed to be another RPG one, isn't it? Or whatever then.
I think so.
Whatever. Whichever of the smaller ones, they need like lots of additional content to make it feel like a bigger game.
Sure, so like for a game that's smaller, where maybe you do want more, you want more, but for a massive game like Valhalla, you're a bit like...
It's basically like, the Valhalla is essentially like, you could have just had the main story and it would have been more content than what Mirage is going to get with DLC, I imagine.
Sure.
Or maybe equivalent.
Yeah, no, agreed. Yeah, totally. I guess the thing about that though, Jay, is that if you like the game and the setting and stuff, you want to play as much in as many scenarios as possible. Like, imagine if we didn't get to go to Ireland, right? Like, that sucks.
Yeah, Ireland was definitely... It's probably one of the better ever DLCs that AC has ever had.
For sure. And Paris was cool. Ragnarok
was fine. Ragnarok was definitely the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, we don't like the Norse stuff, do we? We just...
I mean, when it's done well, it's done well, but it's when it's done bad, it's awful.
It's just boring. Like, I find Eivor more interesting than fucking
I find
Odin,
Cassandra more interesting than everybody else.
I hear you, bro.
Cassandra, I think, has definitely she's up there with Ezio. Yeah, Ezio goes Ezio, sure. Cassandra, same level, and then everybody else.
I've got a soft spot for Atelia, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I have less of one for Atelia. I have more of one for
Don't say Connor.
No, what's the Origins characters and then also the Syndicate characters, yeah.
Bayek and the Fry twins.
Yeah, the Fry twins, yeah.
Yeah, Eva and
then what's the unique character called again?
Arno. He was pretty bad.
He was pretty cool. I didn't mind
Connor's
Unity. He was interesting.
Awful.
Connor isn't. He's definitely not the best, but I wouldn't necessarily. Is he
Jay, you go look back at some of those cinematics. He's intolerable.
Yeah, he is pretty
intolerable.
What about we're missing out Edward, and then also is Edward the AC3?
So Connor's AC3.
Okay, and then who was? Oh, who's AC4 then?
Edward.
Oh, that's Edward, right? Okay, I was getting those two confused. And then what about Rogue?
Shay Cormac.
I think he's probably the worst, right? Him and Connor equally bad.
Oh, see, I quite like Shay.
Shay was probably better than Connor. Then we'll say Connor's the worst AC character so far.
100%.
I think I'm looking forward more to Basim than bloody Connor.
Lol.
I can't wait to see what. I mean, Basim, he's an interesting character. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a massive turn off when you can't enjoy the character. Because you've got to live with that character the entire time.
Yeah, totally.
Basim definitely is a bit down there at the minute for me, but I haven't had time to understand his arc. The thing is, we know where it's going to end. That's the thing, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, we say end, and we know where it's going to go.
Yeah.
We don't know about end. Because we might find out how it ends in the Lost Chapter. That's kind of what I'm hoping. Or we might even find out in later games, I don't know.
Just a quick side note on everything Assassin's Creed, Jay. Clearly they're making moves, because like, obviously Origins and Odyssey have come to Game Pass, and all the other ones have come to PS Plus. I didn't know this, Jay, but
I didn't
like
realize.
Ezio Trilogy, Black Flag, Rogue, Unity are all on PS Plus.
Interesting.
So
they basically put all the oldest ones on PS Plus and the newest ones on Game Pass.
Game Pass, yeah, exactly. And so it sounds like they want people to play these games while we've got a drought, because I imagine they want momentum for next year.
Yeah, they're just letting people know that they still exist, basically.
Yeah,
don't forget
I'm not gonna lie to you, Jay.
Little old
now
Ubisoft.
That Ezio Trilogy's on PS Plus, I'm like, oh no, do I?
No,
don't do it. Don't do it.
You might even ruin the nostalgia.
Memory.
Yeah, you got to keep it back then.
Just one final note on Mirage. I rewatched the trailer, which is fairly long, by the way. My only concern is that what if, Jay, they're going so hard on AC 1 or 2 vibes that it forgets to be its own thing? You know what I mean? Like the trailer is so on the nose with, look, it's a pickpocket thing,
Look,
and
it's
look,
basically
here's a
AC1.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the game just looks like a copy and paste of AC1, but in a desert rather than a very grey
Yeah.
Third Crusade. Because
Yeah.
each game I feel like has its own colour palette, and AC1 was just grey. Like it was just grey.
Well, each city had its own color, right? So Damascus was red, Akka was grey, and Damascus was green, but they were all kind of grey.
I don't know if you know about this, but the city that AC Mirage is set in is actually a city that isn't there anymore. It's just gone. But the only reason they knew how to make it look a certain way was that the dev team actually recreated what they imagined the city looked like before it was destroyed. Because there's no written history or like imagery we have of what the city ever looked like. It's just a lost city. It's a bit like Atlantis, really. So nobody really knows. Okay. So they basically went, right, here's what we thought it looked like, because of how the times were and what other cities that were close by looked like, that we do know how they looked. So.
Fair play.
So it literally is the place we're going to doesn't exist anymore, but was a real place in one point in time.
Interesting.
I think it got destroyed during some sort of battle or something. Maybe even weather. Okay. Hard to say. I think that's just really interesting.
To play it.
I love that the dev team can make, they're that creative enough to be able to do that. So.
Jay, you remember Ubisoft Plus at all?
No.
It's basically like EA Play. So Ubisoft Plus has come into consoles soonish. I know
is it being included with Game Pass, like EA?
No.
Well, that's a bit of a shame.
It is. But
isn't it free up until October 10th?
What? Sorry.
Because they announced in the Ubisoft showcase, they were like, you can get Ubisoft Plus for free up until October 10th or something.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Something like that.
Well, what I'm thinking is, do you think they'll do the same thing with EA Play, where if you have Ubisoft Plus, you can play Mirage for free, even like new games?
Or you can play it early
too. Yeah.
I don't know about free, but early, sure. I reckon from Mirage, I reckon there'll be a pre-order bonus where if you have Ubisoft Plus and you pre-order it, you can play it 3 days early.
Yeah.
Be a bit of a shame, but.
Well, no, I just think Assassin's Creed games aren't the most polished, are they? I usually find, but.
Day one, they're pretty not great. Well, I'd say in recent history, they're not great. I actually think Origins Day one was great, but I don't think Valhalla was.
Odyssey or Valhalla, yeah.
No, Origins wasn't.
Mate, well...
Oh, it's just a lie. Odyssey was great day one. Origins was great, but Valhalla wasn't. Yeah, it's because they got bigger. They got too big for their own good. I think there's a limit on AC size, to be honest.
Agreed.
I think it's about the same as Odyssey. Anything bigger than that, tends to get a bit too much.
Oof, yeah. Oh, dude, the DLCs for Odyssey also are mental. They're
top three.
Absolutely mental.
Top three. It goes all Odyssey, and then it goes Ireland for Valhalla, and then it goes everything else.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Freedom Cry was quite good from memory, but I haven't played that in
Syndicate, Jack the Ripper stuff was pretty cool.
Jack the Ripper was fantastic. Yeah,
the Origins stuff is pretty cool.
Origins was a bit spread out for me.
Yeah, but sure.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, a lot of good DLC there. That's it from me, Jay, and I'm getting a little bit tired. So
this is a long one. This is probably our longest one in a long time.
Yeah. Definitely not Joe Rogan, I'll put it like that. So I was going to do a Pixel Perfect, Jay, but unfortunately the production team hasn't got back to me, so we'll have to save that till next week.
That's fine. We're already running a good decent amount of time here.
So I believe you're on 35, 34 for Guess Who's Review?
Yeah, 35 to me, 34 to you. But I imagine you'll probably get it either on the first or the second try when you do it next
Pick
time.
a hard one.
I got 2 lined up already. And I'm pretty sure you haven't played either of them. But I know you'll know what they are.
Oh, okay.
I know you haven't played either of them. So,
very good.
We'll see.
Okay, all right, looking forward to it. Just to close us off, Jay, I've got a quote from Scar.
Scar.
I'm surrounded by idiots.
Scar from Lion King.
The Lion King. I like that quote, Jay, because I think we should remind ourselves that there are more stupid people out there than smart people.
Yeah, us included, depending on the topic.
True. Most topics.
Yeah,
most
sure.
topics.
But unless it's gaming.
But an interesting point nonetheless, do you not think?
Yes. I think the idiots he's referring to are the hyenas.
Yes, true.
Right? Which are some of my favourite characters in that, actually. I love the hyenas in that.
Yeah.
They're great.
Yeah. No,
Cool.
It's a classic. A classic. All right, Jay, let's close it out. Thanks everyone for listening. Go like, don't share because nobody shares, but just go like, review. Just give us some love, man. I know you're all like, Nick, where's the episode? They're all going to start bashing out now, and we're back on a sort of regular schedule.
Nick hasn't got any more weddings to go to. Yay!
Yay!
As I think, I don't know.
Jeez. No, let's not jinx it, please.
God.
Yeah. So we'll catch you later. Me and Jay are just gonna go enjoy the rest of our weekend, and we'll catch you in Ez.
Peace.